we're back. Big time auto racing, all right? 2 consecutive weeks here. No big deal. That's the goal for the year, is to go every week. Obviously, there's probably a time where we go on vacation or something. But for the most part, you're going to be hearing a lot from us. You know, we haven't really announced that, I guess. But you're going to be seeing or hearing from me and Brandon a lot. And that includes YouTube. We are going to upload the full-length podcast episodes on YouTube. So for those watching, welcome. I don't know why you want to see our faces, but for those that do and feel like you can follow along better with an episode by seeing us, that's how I do it. Welcome again. Thanks for being here. All you audio listeners, thanks again for joining us. We did do some video stuff last year, obviously, on my channel. I'm going to continue doing it on my YouTube channel eventually. I'd like to have its own YouTube channel, obviously, but it's really, like, YouTube's integrated a podcast platform to where you can kind of upload it all in separate channels. So it works out good, and that's kind of why it's on there. And it's not like it's got billions of views, and it really matters. We just like the few of you that do watch it, we want you guys to see it in a good spot like YouTube. So, anyways, don't forget to go check that out. This week, myself, Dylan Wilson, and Brandon Pierce. Sometimes I forget to introduce us. I know it's this early season. Some of you guys are new, so you might just be tuning in to us, meeting us for the first time. Brandon, are you excited for a little bit of racing this weekend at Southern National, brother? You got a big weekend headed up. I'm gonna run my mouth a lot this episode because I'm essentially just a media guy again. So Brandon's driving. I'm not driving this weekend, but I am going to be paying a lot of damn attention to the Cars Tour, and I'm going to be talking about it from a driver's perspective. And 2023 Rookie of the Year runner-up, no big deal. Fucking fact check that. Anyways, as you can tell by now, this is the less politically correct version of a Cars Tour podcast, I would say. Anyways, back to it. Brandon, are you excited or are you not excited?
Yeah, man. Excited to go down there and kick off the 2024 season. As you said, heading down to.
You're gonna dust
Kinley,
the top off.
We were actually talking about that testing the other day. Diaz, they went in and sealed it like at the top, and I was like, man, it'd be badass if you could run up there. But I'm like, you'd wreck trying to get there.
Absolutely. Previous winner there. You've won a season opener there before. This will be the 4th season opener, I think we determined.
4th or 5th, yeah.
4th or 5th season opener ever at Southern National. So yeah,
and I was reminded. Yeah, I was reminded by the event preview today that this Saturday will actually, to the day, mark 5 years exactly since my win at Southern National. So, it'd be cool, man, to go down there and make it Cars Tour win number 2. But obviously, as me and you will get into here in a little bit, that's a tougher task now than it was then. Not that it was easy then. I beat one of the greatest to ever do it that day in Josh Berry, but everybody
no big
knows
deal.
That. Yeah,
that's a no big deal. That's a no big deal moment. That's a new thing here at Big Time Auto Racing, by the way. No big deal moment presented by Big Time Auto Racing LLC.
So, but yeah, man, just excited, and as you know, you got to experience it with me last year. Place is fun to drive. A lot of banking. Like iRacing, pictures, none of that stuff does it justice until you strap in and sink her off in there, and you're like, oh my god. So fun place to drive, technical in its own way. Old girls wore out, but that just makes it fun. That's something that me and you share together, is our fondness of worn out racetracks and not of gripped up racetracks. So
yeah, the apron is also repaved. I don't know if that'll come into play or not. It didn't seem to come into play much in the Pro Late Model race, which we are going to get to. We're going to recap some of that. A lot of crazy happenings in that, including a surprise, a new winner, a couple of dust-ups, and all that good stuff. But, yeah, big race at Southern National this weekend. Obviously, the season opener, KevinSaysYes.com, 125. Is that crazy, Kevin Powell? It's the same
it
guy.
Is. You gonna give it to our viewers? You gonna hit it one time?
Crazy Kevin Powell, Foothill Ford, Pilot Mountain.
I thought you were gonna really enthused.
Kevin Powell. He was the man back in the day. That's a guy you heard on the radio. I heard him on the radio.
I still do.
From the age of probably. I mean, the earliest I can remember, I remember Crazy Kevin Powell. I mean, I remember impersonating him from the age of probably 10 up. Genius marketer. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable. Like who? I mean, I guess maybe at that time that wasn't that unforeseen in the radio industry. Was like having it was almost that his marketing style is very similar to like my race car color. Essentially
Right.
just the brightest thing you can do. He basically just screamed in the microphone
Right.
for the 30-second ad spot he paid, and essentially that worked. So
He
crazy
made
Kevin
sure
Powell,
when
seal of approval.
he made sure when he was like, "I'm going to advertise," that you couldn't ever say, "Man, I didn't hear what that guy said."
Yeah, and you don't have to. If it would have been the Powell Auto Sales 125, I'd have never put two and two together. But you know what it is? The damn KevinSaysYes.com 125, because you know
Yep.
what Kevin says. If somebody says yes, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying. So I'm happy for that. I love the sponsor, and also cool new sponsor, Shitty Coolers, Sound Gear. There's a couple other. What was the other cool one?
Cookout.
Cookout Victory Lane, right? Gonna be
Yep.
smashing some cookout in Victory Lane. That's kind of neat. So a lot of cool sponsors, a lot of big company sponsors, obviously. So very neat to see all those names getting involved with the Cars Tour, and I don't think you're gonna see that slow down anytime soon. So especially with the slate of races upcoming. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. This past weekend, the Pro Late Model Division visited Southern National as well. I believe they split them up just due to the high car counts and the very, very small pit road there on the front stretch. I mean, last year, did we share the back stretch and front stretch, or how did that, or is it just because of speed weeks, or what
I
was the
I
process there?
think
A little,
yeah,
I just don't know.
I think there was a few on the back.
Okay.
Were
Well,
you
no,
were
I
you on the back?
remember. No, I wasn't, but I do. I was just talking about this year. Like, I wonder why they split the weekends this year. Was it because of parking and speed weeks, or was that a predetermined thing?
Yeah, I never heard from management. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
mean, I
feel
never
like
asked.
though.
I was just. I mean, I'm thinking out loud here. I'm just not really sure why they did that. I was gonna
I
give you guys an answer, but I don't know.
I think Diaz and them just kind of wanted to make it a big thing, and so obviously by being able to have the pros there,
Yeah.
kind of jump starting
Yeah.
everything and
No, it was
then
great.
leading
Yeah.
it in.
The weather
So
has screwed them royally, but
it has.
hopefully Friday night they can make up what they missed tonight. Right? They
Yeah, race like
missed the
hell
race tonight. Tomorrow is supposed to be. Are they adding a late model
tomorrow.
race tomorrow?
They've already canceled everything for tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the rain out day, all day.
Correct.
That's right. Thursday is
Thursday and Friday, I think, are makeups. I think they're running twins now, from what I was
that's right.
told.
That's cool. I'm glad Diaz is doing cool stuff down there. It's neat that they, are implementing speed weeks here in the South. Obviously, the weather sucks, but that's something I hope catches on. I don't know, logistically, as long as the Cars Tour is going there, you would think he'd probably have a pretty good car count. Then
Correct.
again, there's a lot of guys that are probably not wanting to tear their stuff up before the Cars Tour race, so that's a hurdle you have to climb. Maybe doesn't fit most teams' interests. Like someone for myself, obviously, I probably would not be able. Had I been racing this event, I don't know if we'd be able to swing something like that. But love the damn idea. Like, if you are ready to race like hell, in March, go to Southern National, because you can race like hell at Southern National in March. So that's really cool to see. I'm glad to see that they're doing that. But anyway, back to the Pro Late Model race. All right, so Pro Late Models, surprise winner. Always good to see. Now, well, surprise winner, maybe a new winner, I should at least say. Kyle Campbell, out of Conover, North Carolina, wins the season opener down in Southern National, but it was a hell of a race to get there.
Okay.
Tyler Tanner sat on the pole. He ran a 15:09. That is getting it around Southern National.
Digging.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty damn solid race. Not many. There was actually a couple wrecks early with no cautions. I remember Jeff Batten was spun out over in two at one point and ended up getting out of the way, and then something else happened on the front stretch, and they ended up getting it going again. So there's a couple wrecks, but no cautions early. And then Honeycutt got a hell of a run off of two at one point.
I think the run surprised Caden personally.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
It kind of looked like he.
Yeah, he
like
got a hell of a run, and I don't
shit.
know if maybe the spotter didn't call it or whatever. I'm just making assumptions, but he got into Tyler Tanner and they basically wrecked but didn't wreck, and that was another one that should have been a caution but wasn't a caution. Tanner lost all of his spots, basically. Honeycutt, I think, only lost one spot in the whole deal, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So it worked out pretty good for Caden. But Tyler Tanner basically lost, after sitting on the pole, and he was leading at the time, and that was very early on. So I'm sure he was frustrated with that. Again, it was an unbelievable run that Honeycutt got, and I haven't seen Caden Honeycutt back down off of many runs, that's for sure, and I don't think he's going to do it on week 1 of the season either. So I see that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like he sends the damn. He's good. He definitely sends it, and he's definitely good at Southern National. So I'm not surprised to see him fill that hole. He definitely had the run and showed his nose for quite a while, as far as I remember. But one of those things. Maybe a racing deal, maybe not. Either way, got into it. And at that point, who assumed the lead at that point? I can't remember who took the lead at that point, but then eventually Kyle Campbell took the lead on lap 67. Never looked back from there. But there was like 3 unbelievable saves by Chris Wright. He was all but wrecked a few times. So a lot of good saves in this race. There's probably a lot of great GoPro footage for sure. Again, the Cars Tour Digest thing, I can't find how many. They don't have a cautions count thing. I'm sure it's on the actual Car Store website, but if I were to guess, I think there was about 4 or 5 of them total.
I was gonna say, yeah,
2, or not 2. There was definitely one, 40 lap deal or 35 lap deal.
Yeah, for a competition caution.
Right. So that was towards the end, and I think they had to restart with about 20 to go. Anyways, Campbell goes on to win it. First time winner in the Cars Tour. Always good to see. I know we made some picks on a unreleased episode for a trial episode, I guess you can say, and none of our picks were right. We did not pick him, but congrats again. That's badass to see. Anytime somebody new wins, it's pretty damn cool to see, obviously. So, how much did you get to watch any of the Pro Late Model Race live?
I did.
You did? Were you how much in the racing spirit did that put you? Does it feel like Car Tour season yet, or will you think it'll sink in when you get there on Friday?
No, yeah. I mean, it definitely it gave you that, adrenaline.
It's the first time you've watched a season opener of pros before you guys, right?
It is.
Okay.
That is correct.
Yeah, so that I was gonna say that's got to be a little bit different, a little bit different of a feeling. And usually we open the season with the pros.
Correct. And, as me and you touched on, they've obviously done quite a bit of work over the off season at Southern National. Not that it ever looked bad. But,
I may have solved this. I may have solved our question earlier. Maybe the reason they're doing this is because of the preseason tech stuff. They know it'll be a nightmare with both divisions there.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just like it was last year. Luckily, last year, it rained, so like
Friday,
we had 2 days of tech basically, so it worked out good for them. So maybe that's what it is. I know even maybe they've been very adamant. Maybe the new ownership group or Kip, maybe he wants to keep things a little more organized, and thought that having a Tri-County day to give you an opportunity to get set up and split them up for the season opener. That way, nice and organized. I think it's great. I mean, I had a question at the start of this episode, and I think I may have solved it on my own. That's what podcasting does for you, folks. You solve the world's questions. That might be the totally wrong assumption, but if not, it's a great plan because it worked out good, I think. So, anyways, we got to get there first, and you only got a few days left. Do you have any testing scheduled before Friday or anything? Or are you going down for Speed Weeks to watch or anything like that? Also, is Speed Weeks on pay-per-view Thursday and Friday or whatever?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I know it's not on Flow.
Sorry, I don't know for sure on that. I'm actually going to pause at some point and go check. So by the end of this episode, you guys want to... Actually, I'm going to figure that out right now. Okay, update. Not really sure. I checked the website. And it looks like... I don't really say. But last Thanksgiving Classic, I think they did Did they do their own deal?
It might have been Racing America.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be Racing America. I'm not sure. But definitely Southern National Motorsports Park. You can check their Facebook page, and I'm sure they'll post updates about it. Maybe they don't know. I'm not sure. But Because Flo will be in town. That'd be very convenient. But
Yep.
The world's best. But anyways, I think it's time. We obviously have the entry list we could go ahead and go through. So why don't we go ahead and go through the entry list, talk about the 30 entrants upon the first car store race of the year, and then we'll get on to some picks and some other stuff like that. Okay, so entry list. Pretty much, it's a doozy. A lot of good cars on there, obviously. 30 entries. And we're just going to go the same way that it's listed on here. And it looks like it's by number. Chase Burrow in the 00 this year. New team. Brendan Queen 03. Butterbean. Same deal as last year. Ronnie Bassett Jr. Deke McCaskill. More on him later. Andrew Grady. Clay Jones. Brandon Pierce. Bobby McCarty. Carson Quaffle. Buddy Isles Jr. Who announced, I think, full-time, right?
I think that's right.
14, Mason Diaz, that's a different car. Ryan Millington, Logan Clark, Chad McCumbee, Caden Honeycutt, Connor Hall, Cade Brown, Cody Dempster, Jonathan Finley, Brent Cruz, Landon Huffman, Bryce Applegate, Jamie Cottle, Stephen Nassy, Gavin Boschel, Lane Ridge, Cameron Boland, Katie Hettinger, Travis Ward, Minnie Tyrell, John Goen, and Jacob Hefner make up the field of 30 cars. I don't know how the hell those guys do that on Sunday or Saturdays and call out a whole entry list. That's a lot of words in a short period of time. Been a long time since I've done that. Sorry. I apologize for that butchering of some of those names. But, yeah, a lot of big names on that list. A couple that stand out to me, obviously. Well, Deke McCaskill. First of all, let's get to some track stats on Deke McCaskill here because some of it's unreal. We actually went through this off the air last night about some of the crazy stats that Deke has at Southern National. Out of 7 starts at Southern National, he's won 3 times with 7 top 10s and 5 top 6s, or 6 top 5s, sorry. See? Butchering it again. He's led 507 laps out of the 975 that he's ran. His average starting position is, out of 7 races, 1.57. And again, out of 7 races, his average finish is 2.43. My pick for this weekend is Deke McCaskill. He's last year's winner. Brandon's in the race. I'm not going to make him pick for late model racing, but, I think going forward, we might have a guest picker or something like that. Because we're going to have a guest reviewer sometimes when I'm not at the track, and a guest picker sometimes when Brandon's racing and I'm not, for at least the series he races in. So, and we're not allowed to pick each other, by the way. But yeah, Deke McCaskill, just to harp on that a little bit more, he's won $32,000 in his career there, in the Cars Tour at Southern National. That doesn't count the countless other wins he probably has there. I'm sure he's definitely in the 6-digit range for sure. So 7 races, again, 3 wins, average finish 2.43. That's pretty wild. So,
including that he is last year's winner.
Yes, and also the defending winner, and 4 poles in that time span too. So yeah, a lot of crazy stats for Sir Deke, King of Kinley. That is his new title.
And word on the street, he was testing today, and no shock, he was very fast.
Well, that's bad news for everybody else in the car store. Deke McCaskill was in fact at Southern National today. Breaking news. Terrible news for most car store drivers out there. Deke McCaskill, again, was at Southern National today. Breaking. That's bad. Because, again, that's some crazy stats. Yeah, so again, Deke McCaskill's my pick to win. Obviously, I think that might be the easiest pick of all time. But what we have failed to mention is somebody else has pretty good stats here. An average start of 6.33, an average finish of 4.33. No wins yet. Only 3 races, but Lane Riggs has been pretty good in the past here at Southern National. So, and obviously he's going to be in the 62 Kevin Harvick prepared machine. So I'm sure he'll be pretty damn good. And some other guys that are at the top of this list here that are racing this year. Brandon
Is that your
Pierce.
is that your sleeper pick, Lane Riggs?
That's not a sleeper. Definitely not. Definitely not a sleeper. But it's somebody to watch out for. I'd pick you as a sleeper, but not. You can't really be a sleeper because you've won there before, and you're also on the podcast. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you technically you're among active drivers besides Bobby McCarty and Lane. As far by active drivers, I mean racing this weekend. You are about the 4th or 5th best driver in the field as far as finishes and points and total, all that stuff goes. So yeah, that's pretty sporty. So you're always excited about Southern National, right?
I am.
You want to
Man.
race
You know,
there?
I've won a race there. My first race there was the Thanksgiving Classic in 2018. I finished 6th. So I always enjoy going down to good old Kinley, North Carolina, and going to Southern National. Kind of to touch base on the 30 drivers that you spoke about. For me, some that stand out as far as names, and then I guess some that was surprising, and I don't mean that in a bad way, just saying, seeing their name on the entry list. So obviously ones that stand out, like you said, seeing Lane on there, not that that's necessarily a shock, but, we all know that he has moved on to
Yeah.
race full time in the
No, I
Craftsman
was
Truck
surprised.
Series.
I
But
didn't know. I didn't really
yeah,
know. I
it
didn't
is
expect Lane to come.
yeah, it is an off week. So that was the first thing that came to mind for me when I saw his name on there. Obviously, his teammate over there at KHI is Brent Cruz. So, that's a new name, too, to see on there, I guess, as far as full time for this year. And then I know me and you've talked about it, but in case you haven't been following, I guess, the off-season Cars Tour news, folks, Stephen Nassie's intentions is to run the full late model stock tour this year.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously seeing that name in the late model stock category will be a little different, and then seeing Clay Jones on there.
Yeah.
Obviously he runs with us normally at Wake County, but he was on there, and then obviously seeing Mason obviously got a ride for this week, so he's on there. So those are the ones that stand out. I mean, obviously not trying to discount any other drivers in the field, but as far as ones that you don't necessarily see every week or maybe weren't expecting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of there's guys out there. Connor Hall just coming off a win at Hicory this past weekend. Obviously, driving the Nelson Motorsports car. This will be his second start, and Eddie ran the icebreaker, I believe, and wound up second, right? Second or third?
Yep. Yep, second.
So yeah, strong start to the year with Connor. Last year, Kel Gale knocked the shit out of me in that car out at Southern National, and that was awesome because Kel, I always looked up to Kel, so I get to say that. But yeah, so at that time things were a little different for that team, but yeah, things were looking up. So yeah, again, Connor started the year with a win at Hicory, just like last year. Does he have? Yeah, I guess he don't have intention. No, he's running the full car store this year, so no natty chase for him this year, I assume. But we said that last year as well. So,
stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have definitely happened. So obviously Connor's going to be probably someone to look out for this weekend. Landon making his first start in his new self ran deal. It's not a show up and drive deal or whatever anymore. So he's definitely got a lot more work to do. So it'll be cool for him to pay attention to. I know a lot of the world pays attention to or a lot of our racing world pays attention to everything he does. So it'll be exciting to see how they manage going about a car store season. I know with a limited amount of guys working for you, it's tough. So it'll be exciting to see how all that goes on camera because I did it last year in person. So I'm excited to see how that goes for them. Both good and some of the shit is annoying, but it'll be neat to see how they all deal with it because a lot of those guys are funny. So. Obviously shout out to them and let's see anybody else that's really like standing. I mean everybody's good, right? I mean there's not any cars that are just gonna just be way off, obviously. But Gavin Bushell, we didn't mention that he's moving up.
Yeah, I was
from pro late
trying
models.
to. I was kind of surprised to see him on there.
Yeah, I did. I did not know he's moving up from pro late models. He, I think, ran the full season last year of pros. Except for and then he was he got did he just no he didn't get suspended. He just had got a probation deal, right, for the that
Yeah,
last
I think
race
so.
when he got into who was it that he spun
When he
for? Ashton
sent the
Higgins, yeah.
shit out of Ashton
That's
Higgins,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. So Javin Bushell moving up to late model stock. So that must mean he has turned 16. I'm assuming is what has happened, and he's ready for the late model world, which is cool to see. A guy that's I used to watch him race beginner box stocks when he was about 5. So literally that's been 11 years now, and it's racing the same cars I am. So that's pretty crazy. I'm getting old as shit. And then obviously past champion Carson Quaffle, past multi champions with an S, Bobby McCarty and Carson Quaffle. So a lot of great cars out there. It's gonna be a damn barn burner. Always is. Last year's race at Southern National was a good one. Deek, of course, won it. Kind of was the class of the field on saving tires and just absolutely waxed everybody's ass, including mine and Brandon. So,
Yep.
I waved him by with about 5 to go. I know that. So he definitely waxed my ass with a damn wooden damn mop because it was a rough start for me, but he was quick. So we've got week 1 coming up. I know everybody's excited. I know you're excited, Brandon, but this is the point of the episode where we need to talk about a little bit of expectations and what kind of goals you're setting for yourself for not only this race but the season a little bit. I mean, you don't have to give me all your goals or whatever. I know that's personal, but as far as just what your expectations are and what you're looking forward to and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost is just to run better than last year. Really run better than the last 3 years. The last 3 years been hell. Just a lot of misfortune. Had some good runs in there, but really inconsistent. Mechanical failures. This, that, the other. Just a lot of misfortune, a lot of bad luck. Some mistakes I made in there too, but a lot of just getting caught up in other people's mess, or like I said, mechanical failures. And one thing you can't have in the car store and expect to contend for a championship or run up front or, have good runs is mechanical failures. It's just unacceptable. Right. So, for me this weekend, obviously turning off of that, same thing, run all the laps. I think qualifying is going to be pretty big with the surface at Kinley, kind of backing up quickly for a second, about you asking about the pro race, watching that live. Not that you couldn't pass, but track position was still very important.
Right.
For instance, the guy that won the race qualified on the pole. So, I'd love to go down there, man. Opening cars for a race with Carroll Speed Shop. Car in one piece, top 10 finish, I think would be a good day for us. Obviously, being that I've won there, my personal expectations are a little bit higher, but I think I got to be reasonable with, only second time out with a new team, only third time I've been in the car together as a group. But I think if we go down there and we're in one piece and I think if you go down there and you're in one piece and you run top 10, you were competitive.
Right.
And that's something to, hold your head at least even kill about. So, that's my goal, at least for opening up the season. And then as far as the year goes, just to, touch base on that quick, like you said, not sit here and run through a whole list, but I think we can win races. I think we can contend for races. There's a lot of tracks or some tracks that I'm looking forward to going to that I've struggled at a little bit, that I've seen Justin and Jacob as a group, run good at. So, and then the same for me, that they've talked to me about tracks that they struggle up that I've run good at.
Right.
So, just really excited about the year, man. Obviously it's a change for me. I was at Lee Poyen Performance for 5 years, and we were able to win a cars for race together and have some great runs. But that page has been turned, and even though we were in the icebreaker together, I kind of count that the chapter is starting of new beginnings, starting this Saturday.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see how it all goes for you. I know we'll all be pulling like hell for you from the house. I'll be watching on Flow. That's for sure. We've got obviously this year, the whole season will be on Flow again.
Yep.
all throughout the year, there's content. I don't want to sit here and be a testimonial for Flo each week, but obviously there's just stuff to watch every night. I mean, it's just hard to beat it. Even if you're strictly a car store fan, you don't know if you can justify paying, whatever it is, $120, for a whole year's worth of it. If it sounds too high to you, just give it a chance.
Go do it.
I'm telling you, if you like racing at all, it's definitely worth it. Don't be if you're questioning it, believe us, it's definitely worth it. All sorts of great stuff on there. But yeah, that's probably about it for the preview portion of this episode. We've covered our all the bases on Kinley and the track's history. I mean, there's a few more track stats I could pull up.
So before we touch base on some of the other topics that me and you have wrote down for tonight before we close out this episode, I know you have made your picks, but a little friendly wager I got for you.
Okay.
Do we see a first-time winner this weekend?
No. I don't think so. I don't think you see a first-time winner until after Wilkesboro. I don't think you see a first-time winner until after Wilkesboro, for sure, maybe later. Because a lot of those tracks before Wilkesboro are tough tracks. Not that
they are.
You got to think. We're going to Southern National, tough track, opening race. Florence, tough track, no damn walls. Rookie's gonna be like, what the hell? And then, what's after that? Or is Hicory after that, or is Ace?
Well, no. So Florence is so
Goodyear.
Yeah.
Or New River.
We got Southern National, New River.
I don't know why I'm thinking
Orange County
of last year.
Hicory.
Yeah, sorry. Hicory, New River, Orange County, or Southern
Ace.
National,
And then
Southern National, New River. Then what?
Orange County.
So 3 tough tracks to start the year. Then Hicory, another tough track, and then Wilkesboro. First time winner there would be insane. Obviously.
Yeah.
Would love to change that story, but the Wilkesboro would be a tough. Just think about it. You got 4 tracks.
I actually had it backwards. We go to Hicory before we go to Orange County.
Oh yeah, that's right. I should know that. Orange County's on 420.
I was looking at the schedule.
Orange County's on the due date of my child, so I sorry. I've been looking at a lot of schedules lately.
I can only imagine.
Hey, I've been looking at a lot of schedules lately. It's been a whirlwind. So, I'm a little off on some of those, but yeah, nonetheless, the 4 tracks to start the year are very tough. So I don't see any big first time winners coming. Definitely, Southern National would be very surprising for sure. But however, the car that Connor Hall was winning races in last year, Trayton Lapsevich is driving it, and he's a past Canadian Series champion. Ran a lot of short tracks there, racing for Chad Bryant Racing. So who knows? Maybe I stand corrected, especially with Chad Bryant Racing at worn out tracks. So, we know how that story goes. Sometimes they're pretty damn good there. So,
they are.
So you have to watch out for them too. So that's the first time winner guy that I guess you could highlight probably as somebody that's in a really good car that hasn't won a tour race before. Who else would be among that list? Do you have anybody in mind that's in a car you think that could win at Southern National? Because you asked me the question, now I'm asking you.
Well, like I said, you got Brent Cruz at KHI, man. Good equipment. Yeah, he's a decent wheel. He hasn't had a ton of late model stock success, but
that's a good point. Yeah,
he's won in other things.
Millington's won a car tour race, hasn't he?
Yeah, because I was gonna say him, but I'm pretty sure
that's who we haven't mentioned hardly at all in the episode. He was on the entry list, right?
Correct, and he led a bunch of laps on our last year.
Yeah, so I mean, Ryan Millington, you can't ever. I mean, I don't even think I mentioned him one time other than saying his name on the entry list, and I feel like I did that all year last year. Most people probably do. Just write him off. He probably likes it better that way. But yeah, no, Ryan Millington, his cover's blown. That's a guy. That's a guy you could definitely call probably a dark horse at this point. Hasn't won in a couple years, so So maybe a dark horse for opening week, but then again, he ran like
The
top 5
only
every week last year. So
the only other one, and I could be shooting myself in the foot here. Trevor Ward was not on the entry list, right?
no, I don't think so.
And I'm 95% sure he's coming.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, and he, unless somebody needs to correct my knowledge, has not won a car show race, correct?
Nope, don't believe so. No, he is on the entry list. Sorry, yeah, Trevor Ward's on the entry list. I kind of blew through it.
Yeah, so then I would add him to that.
Yeah, Trevor Ward,
as
obviously last year's Martinsville winner. This track sort of shaped like Martinsville with big banking, so who knows? Maybe that that Forrest Reynolds car still got that turn in it like it had at Southern National, or sorry, Martinsville, because some bitch was good there. So
yeah,
I don't know. Might transition over.
And
might not.
Then
probably not.
I think we would be idiots to not throw this out there. We touched base on it already, but Stephen Nasse. So.
Yeah, Stephen Nasse. I mean, there's the whole damn. I mean, you could make an argument for pretty much anybody on the entry list, or at least 20 of them. You could make a good argument why they could win that race. So, definitely a good reason. All the more reason to tune into Flow on Saturday and catch the season opener. It's a little bit earlier this week. What time are you expecting a green flag for the late model stock boys?
Well, brother. So it is scheduled for I think about 4:45 on the eastern seaboard.
Whole lots of rain in the forecast.
So if we race Saturday, I'm gonna say about it's probably a night race if we race on Saturday.
Oh, okay. So it could be a night race. That's a possibility.
Which I hope we race on Saturday instead of Sunday. But
so it does sound like if it does rain out Saturday, Sunday will be the makeup date.
I have not been told that, but I do not see why not. That would be a pretty illogical reason to not make that be, in my opinion. But
yeah, I'd hate Sunday races. I do know that. Last year's Cars Tour race at Hicory, the throwback race.
You were 10 minutes from the house.
So hot, God, it's so hot. But that was just because it was August, so
yeah,
should be all right on Sunday. Let's see here. The weather is, well, I was hoping to have a little bit better news for you guys here. I'm not gonna lie, because I looked earlier and it didn't look as bad. Okay, but we are to a 84 to 73% from day to night. Yeah, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain like hell Saturday, probably, at least per the Weather Channel app. Don't condemn me if it's wrong. I hope it's wrong.
We're not meteorologists. They're wrong 85%.
But it is close to the coast, and strange shit happens on the flat lands, folks. And I think everybody knows that. There's a lot of crazy shit goes on down there. So stranger things have happened than a whole storm cell or whatever or rain cell getting moved away. So, to be fair, on Friday and Sunday, it's just partly cloudy. Not a lot of rain in the forecast either one of those days at all.
Yeah.
Well, Friday night's got a little chance of rain. And, well, yeah. But Sunday's looking clear, Sunday's all right. So we'll see how it all works out. So just leave that on your schedules, everybody. You could get to reserve Saturday night or Saturday afternoon for Cars for Racing. It could rain, and if that's the case, well, you still reserve the afternoon. You might just watch the old last year's race, tell the old lady that it's this year's race, and then drink you a couple beers, get through the afternoon, watch those races, and then when it's over and they show Deet winning, it says, "You're 2023 winner," and your wife's like, "What the hell?" And you're like, "Oh my God, this whole time I thought, God, Lee, they must have rained out." And then you just tell your wife, "Well, damn, I guess I gotta do this again tomorrow. That sucks. We'll just save the mowing or whatever for another day, or the honey-do list." So that's what I would do if I was you. But to each their own.
So did you just give our viewers a little insight on what you may or may not be telling your wife on Saturday?
Yeah, that could be what happens. We'll see. Don't know. If it rains like hell Saturday, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I try to reserve Saturday for outdoor activities, whether it's golf, working, or something. And if it's raining, I don't know.
Unless you're going to shoot a bow under your carport, brother, I ain't too sure you're going to be outside.
looks like I'll be doing some editing or something on the indoors. But in other news, obviously it's kind of old news now. A couple of things I just wanted to touch on that our viewers already know about that we wanted to give an opinion on. Well, Bubba Pollard is driving an Xfinity car for Junior Motorsports 5 times this year, beginning at Richmond, I believe. I think that's when it starts. So that's pretty badass. Am I right on that? Is that when it starts? Is Richmond? That's the first advertisement I seen. It said Richmond.
Yeah.
So I assume that's what it meant. But yeah, Bubba Pollard, one of, if not the greatest super late model racer of all time. Definitely of the last 2 decades. You know, Bubba's been very dominant. Obviously, the last decade, but even before that, you know, he was coming into the scene pretty damn hot and heavy. So, the Dale Earnhardt of super late models, you know, the only thing that eludes him is the big one is the snowball, and it's worth probably a few thousand viewers every year just to see if Bubba finally gets the snowball.
I mean, it's why I watched it last year, and he came real close last year.
Same, and yeah, so it's very exciting to see someone like that get an opportunity of that magnitude, and then obviously Dale, you know, giving someone that kind of opportunity just, you know, speaks for itself. But it's not like Dale's handing out charity cases, and that's something I wanted to touch on with this is every time someone gets that opportunity, it's always like, golly, this is so cool. You should give this guy a ride, and this guy a ride, and this guy, and everybody just, you know.
Yeah.
Bubba earned the shit out of that. You know what I mean? Like, if you want, like, that is the epitome of earning it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Josh Berry, same thing.
Yep.
The some bitches don't lose. You got to win to make it to the next level, but you also like can't really lose, and they don't lose.
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
like
look at our fellow car store competitor Carson Kvapil getting his debut this year.
He's
won back-to-back championships, and I don't even know how many car store races he's won now. He's got to be at double digits, ain't he? Mm-hmm. Or right at it.
Yeah, so. and Bubba, you know, it just goes past even car. I mean, he's won a lot of pro late model races in the car store, and then he's obviously won or super late model races in the car store, and he's won a metric shit ton of super late model races between the southern tip of Florida all the way to the very northwest point of Washington State, basically. Yeah. I mean, like he's, you know, it's so if anybody deserves that opportunity, it's Bubba. So it's really cool to see, and I'm gonna pull like hell for him, and it gives me all the more incentive to watch the Xfinity Series, for sure. And that'll be that'll be really damn cool, to see all that come to fruition for sure. Other than that, the Hicory season opener was last weekend, and I was in attendance, and it was a pretty good race. Connor Hall and Landon S. Huffman was...
Yeah, you told me they put on a hell of a show.
Barn burner. Yeah, it was a great race. It was Connor and Michael Bumgarner side by side racing for the lead, and Landon S. Huffman got into Connor, which shoved Connor up into the inside door of Bumgarner, and they got all out of shape. Kind of a textbook move. They'll shove one into the other, and there's got to be a name for that move. What's that move called?
2-for-1 special. I
guess
think.
The twofer. You know, he basically just pulled a old twofer and got around him. But Connor got back to him like literally the next corner and moved him, and they threw sliders back and forth and swapped spots for the next 3 or 4 laps. It got the fans on their feet for sure. I know at one point, I think soon as Landon S. Huffman shoved Connor in there, me and Landon Huffman. The Landon Huffman I know is in the stands at this point, and me and him are both. I look back, and sure enough, he's standing up too. I'm like, yep. See, everybody else still sitting down, but we knew shit was about to get real because Connor just got shoved out of the way, and he was about to go throw some back. So it was a hell of a damn race, and Connor hit the apron at one point, and it upset his car really bad off of 4. And never really looked the same after that. And Landon S. Huffman got away and won the race. So definitely a statement win early in Shane Huffman's son's career.
I look to see them win quite a few races this year. And I'm gonna even, not that we had this wrote down, but you can save it. maybe even track championship
Yeah,
because
I'd say he'd be a
they
championship
have
favorite.
a fellow crew member now, I guess crew chief over there
Mm-hmm.
from the late model stock world over the last couple years who has been a part of some big wins.
Yep. Yeah.
Six Pack, also known as Steven.
Civitrese.
Yeah, I can never get that, so I just say Six Pack. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Win already to start the year, so good for them. I'm assuming they running for the track championship.
I would assume so. I mean,
I think they probably are. If not, that'd be crazy. But other guys running that was cool to see is Clark Houston running for the track championship. I'm assuming as well. Put her on the stop, I believe, the other night. Yeah. So looking pretty good to start the year. I think he got lost the handling on her in the second race.
And I'm sure you'll see Connor Hall there quite a few times if you're.
Oh yeah. Wouldn't be. I mean, he always runs good there, and he talked about how much he loves the track. So bad news for everybody that races at Hicory weekly. He'll probably come run a few more. So, yeah, no doubt. So shout out to Hicory. Also, they upgraded their bathrooms, and I don't not without giving too much away, but I think you'll be fairly impressed with the updates to the bathroom, and the score will be adjusted this year. Speaking of scores, we're gonna have a celebrity guest reviewer, I guess is the term this weekend, since I will not be at Southern National. So we'll get our first go at that. We will pick a driver in the field that would like to participate, ideally someone funny and that likes racetrack food like we do. So there's definitely a pretty long list of guys that we want to get on the show. So I think what we'll do is like have you record it or something there, and
Oh, for sure, I'm going to record it.
hit a little couple-minute video or something,
and we're going to do it live. It's not going to be staged, folks. So that includes you racetracks. Not like we're going to shit on you, but I mean, if the food's good, we're going to say it's good. If it's not, and it wasn't your day, well, it wasn't your day. But it's going to be recorded live on the spot.
Yeah, so, hit them with the live on the spot concession stand review, and then we'll hit them with the racetrack review on the podcast. So.
Diaz, we're coming to try out your fiber internet.
Yep, fiber internet, which Dad couldn't text me all damn day, so signs aren't looking
looking good.
So I don't know what's going on. So we'll see what happens, but we could be in for a doozy on Signal, or you could. Hicory wasn't too bad on Signal this past weekend. I'm lying, it sucked, but it kind of.
I never have problems there. Ever.
Yeah, but I've got Verizon, so I'm honestly that's why I kind of like don't even really. That's why we kind of took that out of the rating system. So it's kind of bullshit, to be honest. But anyways, yeah, man. So that wraps up this week's episode. Had a good time tonight, man. We need to we'll be doing this again here pretty soon. Obviously, hopefully with the little champagne stains on your fire suit or something.
Yeah, well. It sounds like you're not going to be doing anything. So if we were to pull off the old upset,
yeah,
I suspect you to be meeting me somewhere, and
yeah, I'll meet you. Yep.
A revel may ensue.
Yeah, we in fact will probably reveal if that happens.
I don't think that's one of those things where we ask the old ladies for a rain check.
Nope.
Got to live in the moment.
Yep.
Gotta live in the moment.
Yeah, no doubt. But regardless, pulling for you to go run good this weekend. Baby steps, right? Go click them off.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna miss you, old pal, but I know you got a lot going on. We're ready to get that little boy here, and what is it now? 6 weeks? What are we looking at?
No, we're below that now. We're closing in on 5.
Oh.
So we're close. We're almost within a month of the due date. So things are definitely are starting to happen. So we're waiting around patiently, and obviously my mind is not in a race car or at the racetrack right now. So just waiting to get him here and all that. Obviously really excited, but the time period to get him here is a hell of a waiting period. Nobody really ever talks about the last couple of months because I don't know. It's been 9 months is a long time to wait for something. We knew very early on when she was pregnant, so it was. It's been a long damn process, and we're definitely ready for him to be here. That's for sure. So excited for that, and Obviously excited to watch some Cars Tour racing this weekend. So again, you guys tune in on Flow. What time do you say roughly expecting a green flag if it's on Saturday? If there's no rain delay on Saturday, what time does it say?
If there's no rain delay,
yeah,
4:45.
4:45, roughly. If there's no rain delay, it's probably gonna rain like hell. So be expecting a Sunday race, everyone, or clear your schedules on Saturday and Sunday. You know, just to make a little bit of room. You never know. Remember my theory on how you could potentially get around spending 2 days watching racing. You know, just a thought. No big deal.
And if we do rain out, folks, I believe we got some NASFinity in Phoenix or something.
Yeah. There's some NASFinity to watch. You can watch some the NASCAR Xfinity Series and all that good stuff. Plenty of racing to watch. We're finally back in the swing. I FaceTimed the other day and showed you that my grass is starting to turn green. I've got a plan of attack on my bare spots now. I've been doing a lot of research, and I know how I'm spending.
Are we mowing on Friday?
I don't think the mow's in order yet. I think we're going to be doing a little bit of cultivating and planting some seed in some bad spots and going to let it rain a couple of times. And then next week I might throw the old blades down. Well, I might hit this lower spot that looks like ass that I showed you that somebody in the past has definitely took it. I think a dinosaur shit in my yard at one point because I have this crazy weed patch, and it's got to be an old dinosaur shit.
He has a 10 by 10 clover food plot patch in his yard that's just, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
A T-Rex shit there in like year -2 million or whatever and sprouted out. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Hope you guys go to a short track race this weekend, or at the very least watch something on Flow. Cars Tour, Kevin says yes.com 125 is at Southern National Motorsports Park down in Kenly, North Carolina, which is out east for those that live in North Carolina. And if you're interested in attending, it's a great ass little race. It's a cool racetrack. It has awesome trackside parking, which I was unaware of, and we did not let the viewers know last year. But just know, if you want to go to Southern National, they have trackside parking where you can bring your own coolers and chill out. It was really cool last year. It looks like you have a great view up there. They paved the top, so who the hell knows? You know, you might get real close to the action. Who knows? I don't. You know, it wouldn't be me. Probably, hopefully, won't be Brandon. But somebody
if
could
I'm
get
up there,
I
got assistance.
So, anyways, I don't know. I'd definitely trackside park, but if you're gonna do it, you know, watch out for the new groove. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, tune in. Obviously, go cheer on Brandon and all the other or your favorite Cars Tour driver. I guess my favorites this weekend. I got a couple of them in the field that I'll be pulling like hell for, but. Again, a lot of good ones out there. It'll be a big one, so appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys next Wednesday on Big Time Auto Racing.